Good morning. My name is Haley Fox. Our service leader today is Reverend Lori Whitmore. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Saco and Biddeford. The service is being live streamed and recorded. For those joining us on YouTube, we encourage you to have a candle or chalice to light when we light ours here in a few moments. Whoever you are, wherever you come from, whomever you love, we are glad you are here with us today. The theme for the month of December is hope. We invite you to contemplate this theme with us today and carry it into your daily life when you leave here. Let us welcome the youngest members here today. May we recognize their noises and rustlings as our next generation participates in worship with us. We commit to be co-stewards of this ancestral land of the Wabanaki Confederation and to work toward a world that is just and thriving for the whole web of life. We invite you to take home the order of service for information and announcements, or you may leave it for recycling as you exit the sanctuary. Please silence your cell phone. There will be a social hour in the parish hall after the service. Please join us for conversation and refreshments. And I have a few announcements. Tonight, December 14th, is the School Street Coffee House. It will be an open mic Christmas sing-along. Wear your best or worst holiday attire, just in time for the holidays. Our brand new mugs are now available. They're perfect as a gift or to treat yourself. The price is $25. They will also be available at the next event or at coffee hour on Sunday. There's the winter gear collection drive. We need warm coats, warm hats, waterproof boots, gloves, snow pants, and warm socks for adults and kids. Gently used or new, welcome. A collection box is available. We are still collecting snacks for the Hope Squad. Soft snacks are being collected to distribute to the unhoused. There is a box in the hallway to place them. They will be brought to the Hope Squad on Wednesdays to go out with Matt Brown on the Thursday outreach.
And I have a couple of announcements that didn't get into here. We have a meeting. Rebecca Lyons from the police is joining us after service during coffee hour to talk a little bit about the Saco Biddeford homeless situation. It's presented itself on our doorstep, and it's time for us to have that conversation. So we're taking our futures meeting and talking about what's happening today. And we're also pivoting with our collection for the Hope Squad. We will split what we get in for the things that they like or they need, but also we're going to be collecting Cumberland Farms cards, soft snacks, and hand warmers for folks in our own community. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday between 9 and 11, you're welcome to drop those off. And Wednesday evening between 7 and 9, there'll be someone at church collecting those. And more will come over an e-blast this week, so keep your eyes peeled. Over to you, Paul. Oh, no, sorry. Please join me in the words for lighting our chalice. This is our sacred promise to gather together in peace, to seek truth in love, to serve human need, so that all shall grow in harmony with the divine. Good morning. I think before we get started, I want to say that I noticed this snowy morning that the front pews are not filled. And I think that's because our long-timers have chosen to stay home, which I think is a perfectly great decision. And I say that because it's empty and I'm sad and I want you all to move forward. But even if you choose not to, because we're UUs, we can choose. What I would invite you to do this week is reach out to a long-timer and see what they might need. If they need a shovel, if they need someone to run to the store. I think that's something that the community should be thinking about. They may be very surly and not really want any help at all, but I think community invites us to check in on one another when the weather turns, so please feel invited to do that. In the season of growing darkness, we kindle our light. Hanukah teaches us that even a small flame nurtured with courage can shine beyond measure. Here we come together to remember miracles and resilience, to honor the power of community, and always to choose hope, even when the world feels uncertain. May the lights of this gathering remind us that we are never alone, that our shared flame, our flickering flame, grows brighter when we bring it together. We can bring warmth and courage into the longest nights. Welcome all who have come here today seeking hope. Welcome all who have brought their light and their talent and their skills. Welcome all. And now I invite Ellie Lockwood, one of our long-timers who has graciously joined us this morning, to come forward and light our Advent candle of community and faith.
As I light this candle of faith and community, I'll read these words by Elizabeth Tarbox. I thought I heard the voice of the Spirit cry, "Come and find me. You won't have to look hard. Come to where the ocean reaches the shore. Find me in the bright light promise of morning on the waves. Look carefully at the bubbles breaking on the wet sand. There I am. Turn over the glistening rock, slippery with its cushion of seaweed. Here I am. Hear the gulls crying news of the endless ocean. That is my news, my voice. Lie with me in the tall, green marsh grass. See my footprints in the sand you have walked upon. Do not say that I am lost, for you have found me. I am here. And I would say the Spirit is here in this collection of caring and imperfect people, working to build community within these walls and beyond. Blessed be.
And if you'll stand and sing with me, light one candle, Ellie's going to lead us because it's a little bit different than we're used to singing.
Test, test. Oh, good, it works. Yay. So how many of you have ever heard of Peter, Paul, and Mary? Silly question, right? All right. So Peter Yarrow wrote this song a long time ago. And it will be familiar to some of you and maybe not to others. So I'm just going to play through the melody once. And then we're going to do the first verse with me playing the melody, and then we'll see if we can get into the other verses with a little accompaniment. So here, just listen. Whoops, that's not it. So there are a lot of words, just do your best. Here we go. And you'll have support from the choir. First verse. Light one candle for the Maccabee children, with thanks that their light didn't die. Light one candle for the pain they endured when their right to exist was denied. Light one candle for the terrible sacrifice justice and freedom demand. But light one candle for the wisdom to know when the peacemakers' time is at hand. Don't let the light go out, it's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out, let it shine through our love and our tears. Give it a try. Light one candle for the strength we need to never become our own foe. Light one candle for those who are suffering the pains of long ago. Light one candle for all we believe in, that anger won't tear us apart. And light one candle to bring us together with peace as a song in our heart. Don't let the light go out, it's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out, let it shine through our love and our tears. What is the memory that values so highly? We keep it alive in that flame. What's the commitment to those who have died? When we cry out, they're not died in vain. Have we promised our always believing that justice would somehow prevail? This is the burden, and this is the promise, and this is why we will not fail. Don't let the light go out, it's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out, let it shine through our love and our tears. Great job, everyone.
And now's the time in the service, don't sit down, that we turn and greet our neighbors. But you all need to settle down now, okay? Get coffee afterwards.
Candles, candles, burning bright, they celebrate the miracle of Hanukkah light. Candles, candles, burning bright, they celebrate the miracle of Hanukkah light. Candles, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 candles tonight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 candles tonight. Candles burning so bright. Candles burning so bright. Candles, candles burning bright. They celebrate the miracle of Hanukkah light. Candles, candles burning bright. They celebrate the miracle of Hanukkah light. Candles, candles burning bright. They celebrate the miracle of Hanukkah light. Candles, candles burning bright. They celebrate the miracle of Hanukkah light. Candles, candles burning bright. They celebrate the miracle of Hanukkah so bright. Candles, candles burning bright. They celebrate the miracle of Hanukkah so bright. Candles, candles burning bright. They celebrate the miracle of Hanukkah so bright. Candles, candles burning bright. They celebrate the miracle of Hanukkah so bright. Candles, candles burning bright. They celebrate the miracle of Hanukkah so bright.
This is the time in our service when we invite people to share what is in their hearts, whether it is a great joy or a deep sorrow. It is not a time for announcements or political statements. If you wish, please come forward to light a candle, tell us your name if you'd like, and share your joy or sorrow with us if you choose to do so.
Hi, my name is Trevor. I lit a candle for my sister, who I think I mentioned earlier this year that she had a tumor that they removed. It was malignant, very aggressive, but the surgeon was very confident. He got the margins were clean. She's currently just about finished with her radiation, and it's at the point now where she has to take some time off for work, but she's being really positive about it. Everything's hopeful and going very well.
My name is Brian, and I lit two candles this morning. The first one is in memory of my husband Tom, who passed away 4 years ago this week. And the other is in gratitude to my entire church family for the amount of support and love that they've given me during his illness and since then. So I want to say thank you.
Good morning. My name is Nikki. I lit a candle in honor of my mother. I lit a candle earlier in honor of my mother, who it will be 13 years next week, which is hard to believe since she left us. And she taught me so many things in my life, some things I appreciated at the time, some things I didn't appreciate until much later. But she always talked about the importance of faith. She was a devout Christian, and when her only daughter became a Unitarian Universalist, she was okay with that. And my brothers and I say that if we all get to heaven, we're going to give her a hard time for choosing to leave us at the holidays.
Hi, I'm Ellie. I started lighting candles for my sister-in-law, Pam, a few weeks ago. She has lung cancer, and she finally met with the oncologist. There we go. First of all, she got sprung from the hospital. She was in the hospital for 10 days, so she's been sprung from the joint and finally able to go to sleep. So that's a good thing. And she starts her chemotherapy and immunotherapy this week. She'll be having that every 3 weeks. And so, of course, we're praying for a wonderful outcome. And one of my assistants has coined the phrase #Team Pam. So #Team Pam, think of Pam.
Hi, I'm Matt. Just a couple of things might take a minute here, but one is that 5 years ago now, is it 5 years? Yes. 5 years ago, December 1st, my next younger brother, there's 4 boys in my family growing up, no girls. And my next younger brother was my terror brother. He harassed me, picked on me, did everything he could to antagonize me because he was 3 years younger, but he was probably smarter. So he always tried to outsmart me. But he passed away in December 1st of 2020, right in the tail end of that first year of the pandemic, as you can imagine. Not a fun time to lose a member of the family. And we suspect, I don't know this, nothing was ever done autopsy-wise to figure out what cardiac event caused his death, and it was instant. There was no reviving him. He was just gone in the front yard talking to a friend, and he just dropped to the ground, and that was it. We have a history of enlarged aortas in the ascending aorta. My oldest brother had to have his repaired. Mine is enlarged. My youngest brother's is enlarged. And we suspect that my next younger brother, who never was tested, maybe would still be here today. That's my own feeling. And so I've had some almost anger about that because I felt like never should have happened. He could have had it corrected if he had known, but he didn't know. Jehovah's Witness, I don't think he wanted to get checked, even though it was in the family. My grandfather, Gherkin, died of aortic rupture at age 60. One of his sons, my uncle, died at the same age, aortic rupture. So you can imagine why I feel that way now. But that was his choice, the family's choice, and so I have to live with that. The second thing, I was reminded when Ellie came up to do the lighting of the candle and talking about Elizabeth Tarbox. Sonia and I went to the Middleborough Unitarian Church in Middleborough, Massachusetts, and it's like 40 years ago now, honey, that she was our minister there, Elizabeth Tarbox. So, hey, and now everyone knows her.
Good morning, I'm Betsy. Excuse me. I lit two candles this morning. One for Donna's cousin Judy, who after suffering with cancer for 10 years, passed this week. Donna and her sister and her 3 cousins grew up together, so they were all like sisters. So this is a real big loss for us. The second candle is for my son John and family, that his girlfriend of 15 plus or minus years has left him. She has a daughter named Jasmine, and Jasmine and John are together. He's been her father figure over her time. And it's just a real hard sadness for me to know at Christmas time the loss that he's experiencing.
Hi, hello. I get so nervous. I've never done this before. My name's Bo Knights. I just wanted to share a couple joys. One, I'm so excited every time I come back here to see do choir. I feel like I see more new people here, and I know who you are, and that's exciting. Really glad to see you here. Keep coming back. The other joy is we got a new cat, which for us is like a new baby. You know, it's been a retirement home at our house. All the animals are aging out. And his name is a beautiful tabby. His name is Bartholomew Martin J. Wilbur Knights. Very, very dignified. And then, a concern, because my other cat, who's 18, who would have thought he has the energy, just keeps stalking him. So we got to figure out how to get him along. So anyway, thanks for listening.
My name is Jane Perkins. As the music was happening this morning, which was lovely, it caused me to bring to the forefront of my brain that I celebrate and honor the people who were celebrating Hanukah in Australia and then some of them had their lives cut short, and the others obviously experienced the trauma. So, to Hanukah in better times.
Good morning. I'm Tim Black. I don't usually get up and reflect joys and sorrows, but my joy today is to be here with all of you loving, supportive people. And my sorrow is to mark that 13 years ago today, on a beautiful day, 21 first graders and 6 educators were murdered. I keep them in my heart and ask you to as well.
Hi, my name is Kelsey, and I lit a candle for my dad and his partner, Janice. They built a new home in Gray, and it's just been a long time coming for my dad. He's worked hard to get to this, finally have the house that he wants, and they're moving in on Tuesday, so I'm just thinking about them, that it all goes really smoothly.
As I light one last candle for the joys and sorrows left unspoken, let us take a moment to hold what we have heard in our hearts.
Let's take a deep breath and be in a spirit of reflection together. I hold up so much gratitude this morning for the flame that flickers, that has grown to blaze as we join together to hold each other in our joys and our sorrows. They are deep this morning. They are profound, and we are held. In the spirit of the Jewish people, whose light reminds them of their suffering, let us not turn away from the suffering, but remember that joined together as community, we can abide. Blessed be.
Today's reading is called Light in the Darkness. When the night is long, we light a candle. When the oil is too little, we kindle the flame anyway. Hope is not certainty, it is courage. Hope is not abundance, it is trust. Each light we tend joins with another until the darkness itself becomes a backdrop for brilliance. So let us carry this truth, that even the smallest flame can be enough, and that together our lights can brighten the world.
And please stand as you're willing and able, and join me in singing hymn number 221, Light One Candle. did, and thank you for singing the correct song. Weeks take twists and turns, as all of you know. When the worship ministry meets and Nikki and I do our worship planning for the year, we do that ahead of time, so sometimes the world offers us things that we weren't expecting. That usually sets us up to provide you with consistent messages that match themes, and we do great planning that, highlights our principles and values. But like I said, weeks take twists and turns, and sometimes we have opportunities to live our principles in ways that we weren't anticipating, more than just talk about them. Such is our week this week. We have a porch guest. Now, this doesn't take away from this morning's message, it truly enhances it. As we come together to reflect on our faith and our community and light, and as we consider Hanukah and its message to us, its message of hope for a community, we gather in this season when nights are long and the light feels precious and maybe absent sometimes. Around us, traditions from many cultures lift up candles and lanterns and lights, evergreens that remind us that life returns and sustains, and that even in darkness, light is never extinguished. Among these is the Jewish festival of Hanukah, which began over 2,000 years ago in a time of struggle and upheaval. Hanukah is a story of resilience and rededication. It reminds us that hope does not come when the world is easy. And here we are again. The world is not easy. When odds are stacked against all of us, or at least some of us, when it would be simpler to give into despair. Today, as I want us to reflect on Hanukah, not only as a Jewish celebration, because as you use, we draw wisdom from all traditions. So today, even though we won't celebrate Hanukah as Jews, we will draw on this tradition as a gift of wisdom for all of us, a story that teaches us how to kindle light in dark times. We are presented with dark times, certainly for some more than others, certainly for our porch guest, rather than for us who sleep warm. And we get the chance after the service to hear about the larger community needs in a deeper way, and how our principles and how our community can open our arms a bit in the ways that we are able. The story of Hanukah, it began in the 2nd century before the Christian era, when the Jewish people faced persecution under the Seleucid Empire. Their sacred temple in Jerusalem was desecrated and destroyed, their traditions outlawed, and their way of life was threatened. Their lives were threatened. A group called the Maccabees rose in resistance, not because they were mighty warriors, because they weren't, but because they believed that their faith and their culture mattered. Their covenant with the holy mattered, and it deserved, in fact, it required them to help it endure. And after their struggle and loss, which was profound, they reclaimed the temple. They cleaned it, they rebuilt it, they prepared to rededicate it. And according to the rabbinic story, they found only a small flask of oil left, enough to keep the temple's eternal flame burning just maybe a day. Maybe not. Yet, when they lit it, it burned for 8 days, long enough for them to prepare more oil, long enough for them to endure. The miracle is remembered by lighting the menorah, 1 candle for each night for 8 nights. That begins tonight for the Jews, until the light grows stronger and stronger. Now, we're not lighting because it would be tonight's exercise, but I'm told that the middle one would get lit and one of the end ones would get lit tonight. I stole that from Randa, who was going to share it with the kids, so apologize to Randa later, please. Now, many scholars will say that the miracle of the oil was added centuries later to enhance the story, a symbolic tale layered on top of history, which I think all of our traditions do. But whether it's literal or just legendary, it tells a deeper truth, that hope itself, hope is the miracle. And we can generate hope. We do that here. Think about it. The people had just come through war. Their temple was in ruin. Their community was oppressed. Their resources were scarce. They were hungry. They were unsafe. They could easily have said, "This is enough. We're done. Why bother anymore?" But instead, they lit the lamp anyway, not even knowing if it would burn on. And in that act, the courage to kindle a fragile light, a flickering flame, in the midst of despair, they discovered what little they had. What little they had was, in fact, enough to keep the flickering light burning. Hope is an act, not a feeling. Too often we think of hope as something passive, something we feel or don't feel. But Hanukah teaches us that hope is action. It is faith. It is community. It is choosing to light a lamp even if the oil will run out, in the faith that it won't. When the oil seems too little, it is choosing to repair the temple, to open the doors, to listen to the need, to find even the smallest thing that can be done to keep the light going. It is choosing to keep faith when everything tells you to give up, to not give in to despair. It tells us to open our ears and our hearts and our minds and our mouths to gain understanding when we don't have it, to learn about injustice and to find our part in correcting it, even when it is really uncomfortable. Our community is our temple, not just at UUCSB. It's the larger community. The larger community of Saco Biddeford is our temple, and it has brokenness, and it has light. And hope is what we do, not what we wait for, not what we, now, because we're UUs, we think about things for a long time, we have meetings, we vote. We were going to talk about our future, and we are. But now the light needs lighting. Now the oil needs making. And hope is what we do, not what we wait for, not what we plan for, not what we vote on. It's what we practice. When we act as if a better future is possible, we often find that strength, resources, courage reveal themselves along the way. They always do. I know that. I've been there. And courage we need will reveal itself along the way as well. We have a call today, in fact, all days, to engage in hopeful, honest conversations and not shut down in despair. Our world gives us plenty of reasons to despair right now. I know we all feel it as wars continue, climate change deepens, injustice, inequality, hatred wound communities everywhere. Folks are sleeping out in the cold. With less and less resources, shelters have shut down. And it's tempting to look at our limited resources, our small budget. It's tempting to look at that and say, our flask of oil is small. It's not enough. It's not enough to hold the light up for other people. But it is. That's what hope tells us. And Hanukah calls us to this other path. It calls us to light the lamps when we can, how we can, even with a little oil. To give of ourselves in ways that matter, as small as those might be. And it will have the power to multiply. We talk about that all the time here. It's lit as a flicker, not a blaze, and that's enough. And we know this is true. Think of the times when a single act of kindness sparked a chain of generosity. just takes one act. Think of the movements for justice where one voice gave courage to another and sparked a chain of change. One voice gave courage to sing until thousands sang together, not banished by the darkness, but by showing that light and voices matter. Darkness does not snuff out darkness. Only light can do that, said Martin Luther King Jr. Darkness does not do away from darkness. Only light can do that. The connection of community and faith, which is our candle today, is just that. Hanukkah is not a solitary holiday. The menorah is placed in a window, in public spaces, in homes, where light can be seen by other people, where families and cultures are called together with the message that hope grows because it's shared and it's celebrated and it lights up the memory. In our own lives, we feel our light is small, but when we join together, our flames multiply and become enough. And this is why community matters. This is why we come together in congregations just like this one. Alone, it is easy to despair, it's easy to give up. But when we remember our light still shines together, it becomes that blaze. And just a quick Unitarian Universalist lens. We honor wisdom from many sources. We do not all share the Jewish tradition, but the teaching of Hanukkah belongs to all who seek it. It tells us that even the future is uncertain, even when resources are limited, even when our resources are limited, even when despair is knocking on our door or sleeping on our front door, we are called to light a flame, to act with courage, to trust and hope, to support one another, even when we're angry. And once we trust that hope, once it's kindled, the flame, it will do more than flicker. It will grow and the oil will last. In this way, Hanukkah's message aligns with our values and principles. For those not familiar, those are in the hymnal, and I invite you to take a look at those. We also have a pamphlet that talks about our principles, the inherent worth and dignity of every person, and actually the inherent worth and dignity of all of creation. Compassion in human relationships, the interdependent web of life. Hope is not just for ourselves, it is the gift we keep alive for each other and for the world and for the greater community. So as we enter this season of light, as these candles get lit, I hope you see them all over the community. I hope people are lighting their candles. Let's remember that when the night is long and it's cold and the wind is piercing, light your candle. When resources feel scarce, give what you can. When despair whispers, answer in hope. Do not close down to the difficult conversations. Do not close your ears when you're uncomfortable, because hope is not waiting for the miracle, and the miracle will come through our work together. But the miracle of choosing to act, of choosing to trust, of choosing to love, to kindle that light, even when the darkness feels vast. Hope is collecting the soft foods and the gift cards and the hand warmers. Hope is listening to what is needed and thinking, what one thing can I do? How can we combine our energy and do maybe two things? Asking our community, what is love calling us to do in this moment? That is hope. That is keeping the light alive. My friends who have gathered here this morning, may we be that people of hope, the flame bearers of our chalice which we light. May we be those flame bearers in this time. May we join our lights together, remembering Hanukkah, holding our Jewish friends, holding everyone who suffers in our lives and in our community, this day and all days. And may that always be so. When we gather together as a community, we bring the gifts of ourselves, our hearts, our spirits, our time and energy, our talents and skills to support the work of this church and the broader community. We also bring the gift of generosity, giving what we have so that the work here can continue, and we always share our plate with community organizations doing important work. This month, we're sharing with Seeds of Hope, which does homeless outreach in Portland. We're hoping to learn from their example and maybe figure out how to do more here. If you're watching from home, donations may be made through the Give button at the top of our webpage, uuchurchsacobideford.org, or checks can be mailed to UUCSB, 60 School Street, Saco, Maine. This morning's offering will now be received. Extinguishing our chalice. As we release this flame from its faithful service today, we allow the spark in each of us to burn on, to warm our compassion, to fire our delight, to light our paths today, tomorrow, and always. And please join me in singing, "Soon the Day Will Arrive." was a beautiful song, but I say don't wait. Let's not wait and see, right? And as we leave this place, may we carry this lesson of Hanukkah in our hearts, that even a single flame can push back the darkness. We don't need to wait and see. Hope is not something we wait for. It is something we create by lighting that lamp, tending the flame, by sharing our light with one another. Let's not wait and see. Let's go forth into the world with courage to continue to kindle that hope, with faith that your small flame matters, and with trust that our time together here will keep the light going and growing in bigger ways than we can imagine. Let's not wait. Let's go in peace, in faith, with this community surrounding you, and in love and in hope this day and all days.
Each of us has a special day. We celebrate our own special way.
But we all have a dream we share, a dream for peace everywhere.
Each of us has a different way to celebrate our holiday.
One tradition unites us all, one glowing candle so
So light a candle in the window, a flame to show we care. One single light that's burning bright, a sign we all can share. So light a candle in the window, a pure and brilliant sight. The candle glow will let us know the world's at peace tonight. So light a candle in the window, a flame to show we care. One single light that's burning bright, a sign we all can share. So light a candle in the window, a pure and brilliant sight. The candle glow will let us know the world's at peace tonight. Each of us has a special night, one candle burning bright.
Our service has concluded. Thank you so much for joining us today to be in community. What do I have to say? Please join us in the parish hall. Tim and Nikki have made extra coffee, so feel free to grab some coffee. Rebecca Lyons is joining us to share a little bit more about the unhoused situation here. And please remain seated for the prelude, postlude.